Welcome to episode 57 of Oscar Sunday. I'm Austin Johnson.
I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
And happy 4th of July, motherfuckers.
Hell yeah.
I wanted to do, when we first started this show, a little over a year ago, I wanted to do Born on the 4th of July so bad on this day. You know, it's Oscar Sunday on July 4th, 1989. But we're in the 90s. And so, just notch it up 1 year to 1990. And today we're going to be talking about Awakenings, in my opinion, thoroughly underrated movie that does not get talked about enough. Connor, it was your first time seeing this film.
Yeah.
How was it, man?
As fun as it would have been to do Born on the 4th of July, there's something about Awakenings that really captures the human spirit in a way that I think is perfect for this holiday. This is a mesmerizing, powerful, unbelievably dramatic film. I'm very happy to have added this to my repertoire. This is a incredible story, true story about a doctor who saved, albeit briefly, a number of patients who were thought unreachable, gave them a way out, and reminded people that they were still alive. And it is so heartbreaking, but also incredibly inspirational. And I'm so excited to talk about this. Two of my all-time favorite actors going head to head in a way I never thought either of them would have pulled off. They're both, Robin Williams and Robert De Niro are both so far out of their comfort zones in this film, but they both pull it off so beautifully. This is going to be great.
Yeah. Those two guys obviously are going to get their own spotlight today for sure. Not just two of our favorite, but they're simply two of the best to do it. Two of the guys that just have a really cool Oscar kind of history, Yeah. Both just so dominant in their craft. This is going to be a lot of fun, man. Awakenings was nominated for Best Picture, Best Lead Actor for Bobby D, and Best Adapted Screenplay for Steven Zaillian. Now, just those three nominations, no wins at this ceremony. And let's get it out of the way now. This is the ceremony where somehow Godfather Part 3 was nominated for Best Picture. And somehow, some way, Dances with Wolves beat Goodfellas, and that is obviously seen as one of the biggest, just kind of mistakes, stupid, silly, uncultured, award. It means nothing that year, because speaking just for you and I, the movies just don't compare at all. Those two. Goodfellas, arguably Martin Scorsese's masterpiece, maybe his best film. That's debatable, but it definitely is in the top tier. And it somehow loses, where it's this movie that people still talk about, have posters of, all of, Goodfellas is just, it's never going to die. But Dances with Wolves is just kind of made fun of. And it's one of those movies that you can point to, along with the year before, Driving Miss Daisy. It's those kind of films you can point to and be like, that's why the Oscars suck. That's why. I mean, look at those decisions. Just, you have something right in front of you, and you make these stupid decisions. And having Godfather Part 3, just a so average movie in the group, is just like, where are you? There's movies in this year that are great. Like fantastic movies from this year that were just overlooked or just, no. And this is always going to be one of the years at the top of everybody's list of just, this is what they point to, along with, Crash beating Brokeback and Driving Miss Daisy winning and Do the Right Thing not being in that group. Those little things that you can always point to in the Oscar history, where it's just kind of like, what the fuck? This is why people don't like you,
Yeah, this is embarrassing. I mean,
yeah.
Dances with Wolves I've seen it one time, and that's enough. It is an overly long, self-indulgent war epic that is beautiful to look at, but has no substance at all. And then Godfather 3 shouldn't exist. And then also you got fucking Ghost flying out there. I don't really know why.
Yeah,
there
that's the most random. Yeah, just what on earth? Yeah, it's an okay movie, but yeah, Best Picture. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Any of these movies, Wild at Heart, The Grifters, Misery, Jesus Christ, any of these, just throw them in there,
I just like to point out nothing for Miller's Crossing.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest, Coen brothers, just kind of all around snubs. Is it too early in their career for you? That movie is stellar. Still stands as definitely one of the best American movies from that year. Yeah.
I mean, that should have, Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Supporting Actor, Screenplay. That should be all over this Oscars, but it's got nothing. And a year later, Barton Fink would get one nomination for Michael Lerner, of all people. I don't know what the hell was happening with the Coen brothers in the Oscars before Fargo. I mean, it speaks for itself.
Yeah, and then right away they just ignore Big Lebowski right after Fargo. So thanks, Academy. These are the things that are always going to bother movie fans. And this year, it's the 63rd Academy Awards. Oh, here we go. God damn it. You got to look at Dances with Wolves, fucking winning Best Picture. Dances with Wolves with 7 total awards. Dances with Wolves with 12 total nominations. How can you respect or care or want to, know about an organization, the Academy? How are you going to care when that's the movie that's winning everything from a singular year where there's way better stuff? That's annoying. That's frustrating. So with that being said, of course, we don't want to do that Best Picture showdown. It's just not that much fun. So Awakenings was chosen, because it has these 2 Titan performers. And also Max von Sydow's in it. So no fucking big deal. But you have De Niro and Robin Williams at the heart of this movie, and I knew you hadn't seen it. So, and it was a movie that you kind of threw out there. Hey man, I would like to do Awakenings when we're doing the 90s. And it just feels right to finally do this movie because we can ignore the whole Best Picture thing, get it out of the way, and talk about a movie that is really good and still stands the test of time.
It really does. It blows my mind that De Niro did this and Goodfellas the same year. Jesus Christ.
Lights out.
Leonard Lowe and Jimmy Conway the same year to be in. I mean, you couldn't get a more polar opposite group of characters. That is incredible. That speaks to his just unbelievable talent as a performer. And then Robin Williams to have just the constant stream of amazing hits, from Dead Poet Society to Awakenings to Hook to The Fisher King to Aladdin, all back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah. And right before that, Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, Jesus.
The guy was totally unconscious at that time. The late 80s, early 90s, just boom, just continually disappearing. Both of them, man. Just it's so special when you get 2 guys going head to head, but in a way where it's not. Their characters aren't necessarily going. At times they're going head to head, but they like each other. This is a friendship that blossoms out of these 2 guys, and it's beautiful to see them compete while supporting one another. And there's some movies where it's like, we're both big fans of shout out to Scorsese again, because God damn it, you should have won a lot of awards at the 63rd Academy Awards. Gangs of New York, 2002, when Daniel Day and Leo are quite frankly going at one another. And that's a whole different type of acting, and type of craft. In this movie, in Awakenings, it's one of the most beautiful. It's on the same level as Morgan Freeman, Tim Robbins, Shawshank. It's just this instant chemistry connection with characters and actors. And it's fucking gorgeous. I can't believe De Niro can do this and then Cape Fear.
I know.
That's one of my favorite, it gives me chills thinking about yeah, Robin Williams, I know that guy is just bonkers and does like you said, does Aladdin 2 years later and is Genie, one of the best Disney characters of all time. But the De Niro thing is what? how do you do that? He must have been at like the peak of his powers at that time, right? The both these guys.
There's a point somewhere around like a little after Meet the Parents where Robert De Niro kind of disappeared. And I don't think we're ever going to get him back. I don't know what happened. Maybe the zeros on the check got too big. But there was a point where Robert De Niro could do Awakenings, Goodfellas, and Cape Fear all at the same time. And
yeah.
I miss that De Niro so much. Him and Al Pacino are gone. Let's be honest here. They're gone. They're still in movies, but they're gone. And you get the occasional glimpse, you get the occasional, silver linings or an Irishman, but overall, it's Jack and Jill and Little Fockers from here on
out. Yeah. It definitely has to do with the money. And it's gotta be fucking exhausting to do what Robert De Niro did from, the 70s to the 90s. It's gotta be, and Pacino. That's gotta be, to go from being like, Godfather Part 2 and Taxi Driver and these just wild, physically demanding performances and mentally, the capacity it takes to to pull this stuff off consistently, and then through the 80s and to the 90s, and just I can't believe that. I mean, I wouldn't be able to last that long. I can't believe Bobby D. I love calling him that. Did like his prime lasted that long? I can't believe it. Yeah. I think his, I think Pacino. I think you could point to it even earlier. I even think I love Scarface to death. I really do. It's a super entertaining movie, but you can kind of tell he's just kind of like, all right, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to yell a lot, but I'm not really here to help anybody else. In the 70s, I feel total opposite. I feel like he was really trying to always play off of people, always do different things. And I think somewhere in the 80s, I think it's kind of Scarface. He was just like, all right, I want to just kind of make some money and get out of here. Maybe I'm wrong.
I would support that argument if we didn't have Heat.
I thought you were going to say Devil's Advocate.
I love Heat. That yet.
I love Heat. Yeah, I think Al Pacino's bit in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is awesome. And I have heard that show. I think it's called Hunters on Prime. Mm-hmm. I've heard that's all right from some people. I think they hit every now and again, right? It's just that consistency where, like you said, year to year, it's just like really cool stuff and really mentally and physically demanding stuff. I think some guys have like a cap where it's like, well, okay, I don't really know what to do here anymore, which is why some people are really special, that just kind of go until the end. I think someone like Michael Caine is someone I respect greatly because I see him trying different things even in his 70s and 80s. And that's just got to be really hard to do.
Well, I look at like Anthony Hopkins, who just took home his second Oscar.
Perfect example. Yeah.
A role that a lot of people, myself included, didn't know. I wasn't sure he still had in him, but holy hell, did he earn that award? Yeah, it is. I do think some people do have a cap. It's a shame that De Niro's cap was, I think, a lot earlier than a lot of people expected. I'm still holding that hope he's going to pop up in John Wick 5 or something as like the head of the mafia or some shit.
Something's going to work. Yeah. It's not all Dirty Grandpa. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy though? Like this, Oscar winning just Titan is in Dirty Grandpa with Zac Efron. All right. We love these guys. I love these conversations, man, because it's so cool to kind of see the trajectory of different people and like where does it take place? And I think Meet the Parents is a good line for De Niro, the early 2000s. Now we're going to talk a lot about De Niro and Robin Williams again, but before we do that, I'd like to shout out Penny Marshall, director of the movie. Usually we just talk about Oscar nominated individuals, but the Academy, for whatever reason, doesn't like to give nominations and wins to women for directing. So, and I'd say it's pretty well deserved with Awakenings. Good Lord, there are some shots in this movie that it's a specific eye, and that's Miss Penny Marshall. She kind of blew me away watching this time.
I didn't know she'd done drama. Like I knew her as the director of Big, and I didn't know she tackled a drama like this. I was very impressed, and to me, she's always been the lady who freaked out in Hocus Pocus and chased the Sanderson sisters out of her house.
Yeah, yeah, she has a shit ton of acting credits. I mean, she's kind of done everything. Yeah,
and I agree 100%. She should have been up for Awakenings. The direction in this film is impeccable. She didn't direct a lot. No, she didn't. Some movies that have are still with us, like you said, Big. I think A League of Their Own. And now Awakenings. I mean, that's just a really cool palette. Yeah, damn, what a shame.
Yeah, but yeah, she's great. I really do wish she got a directing nom for this. But the screenplay writer is not shy when it comes to the old Academy. Steven Zalian. We've talked about this man before on our Moneyball episode. That was a long time ago. Obviously, crazy stuff. Him and Sorkin together is just kind of too much. It's too good. But he's got a handful here. He was nominated for Awakenings Best Adapted Screenplay. He won for Schindler's List of 1993 for Best Adapted Screenplay. He was nominated for Original Screenplay, Gangs of New York, 2002. And then Moneyball, nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. And then The Irishman, 2019, Best Adapted Screenplay. Crazy.
If I was a screenwriter, I would consider my career complete if I had written just one of those movies. But holy shit, all 5 of those came out of that guy's head. That is unfucking believable.
Yes. So and you're working with titans, Penny, Steven Spielberg, Scorsese, Bennett Miller, Scorsese. Not bad.
Yeah, decent. Pretty interesting writer's room right there. Jesus.
Yeah. He's kind of a legend when it comes to the trade. I'd say him and Sorkin are kind of guys that are in sort of the same class, where it's just, if you have them writing your movie, you got something going for you,
Yeah. And then outside of his, Oscar caliber, he wrote Hannibal.
Yep.
He wrote A Civil Action, American Gangster, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Clear and Present Danger. Jesus.
Yeah. But that's
why isn't he so much more well-known, just casually?
I don't know. That's a great question. Why do people throw Sorkin's name around a lot, but not Steven Zalian? I don't know. That's a good question.
Damn. Impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah. Super good stuff. You gotta love the fact that he can pull off working with David Fincher and Bennett Miller in the same year for Moneyball and Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Jesus Christ.
Directions that guy must have heard that year. Oh my God.
No, thank you. Yeah, I'm good. I've heard that Dragon Tattoo set was intense. Let's see. Let's go De Niro here first. Just every performance here on his
I love
resume.
In his IMDb biography, very first sentence, one of the greatest actors of all time. IMDb doesn't even mince words. They're he's Robert De Niro. Say more.
Oh man, that makes me happy. Uh, I like that a lot. I want to just, and this is like a universal, like, this isn't some website where this is some guy's opinion. This is IMDb.
Yeah, this is middle of the road information. And they're like, he's the GOAT.
Good Lord. Well, let's hear these. He won his first Oscar, 1974, Godfather Part 2, Best Actor in a Supporting Role. That was his first nomination as well. He was not present at the ceremony, so Francis Ford Coppola actually accepted the award. He was nominated for Best Actor in a Lead Role, Taxi Driver, 1976. Not bad. He was nominated for Best Actor in a Lead Role, The Deer Hunter. Not a bad 70s run. He won Best Actor in a Lead Role, Raging Bull, 1980. Yeah, rightly so. He was nominated for Best Actor in a Lead Role, Awakenings, 1990. So there's a 10-year gap right there in the 80s. And then he was nominated again for Cape Fear, 1991. I thought that was 92. So that's just a year after Awakenings. Good Lord. That's one of my favorite performances of his of all time. Cape Fear, just so evil.
Yeah.
And watching De Niro go the distance with anything, whether it be Awakenings, where he's just conjuring up something to really get his, sink his teeth into this character. He does the same thing with something as evil as, Cape Fear. He's incredible. He was nominated 2012 Silver Linings Playbook for Best Actor in a Supporting Role. And then he, of course, is nominated for Best Picture with Martin Scorsese for The Irishman 2019 because he helped produce it. Woof. Awesome run.
I'm very happy to say that with Awakenings, I have now seen all of these films.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. These are kind of like big movies.
Yeah.
They're not just I haven't seen this one. They're kind of tentpole massive films.
Yeah. I love that he won on his first nomination, didn't bother to show up. I don't know why. Maybe he was filming something. But then to follow that with Taxi Driver, and then to follow that with The Deer Hunter, and to follow that with Raging Bull. God. I mean, just this dude was just a part of some of the most iconic productions in film history. And we still get to enjoy these. It's wonderful.
Yeah, we've talked about some guys on this show, some pretty big time actors. Of course, when we not too long ago we're covering the 50s, we got to really talk about James Stewart and Humphrey Bogart. But those guys, compared to this resume, don't even come close. De Niro's in a different stratosphere than most people.
Yeah.
And these movies, this run is one of the most impressive. And you look at the stuff in between that's not nominated. His 70s, from 70 to 1980 is unprecedented. I think we talked about when we did 5 Easy Pieces in Chinatown, we talked a lot about Jack Nicholson and how his 70s run is just what the fuck. And then he finishes it off with The Shining, 1980. Question. If Jack Nicholson would have been nominated for Best Actor, should he have beat Robert De Niro?
Fuck. I mean, for The Shining, 1980?
Yeah, against Raging Bull, 1980. Yeah. It should have won Best Picture, right? But
damn. Jack Torrance versus Jake LaMotta. That's a match right there. I'm gonna go with
Me too. I would almost kind of side with. I think Nicholson is. I think him and Daniel Day-Lewis are really kind of in a class of their own. But De Niro's right there. I think he's right there. It speaks for itself. Godfather Part 2 and Taxi Driver, fucking nuts.
True, but I mean, I brought up a while back. I don't remember what episode it was, but I brought up like the idea of the GOAT, the greatest of all time, having. It's not just about quantity; it's about quality. Mm-hmm. And an actor like Daniel Day-Lewis, who doesn't do paycheck gigs, outshines an actor like De Niro, who has Dirty Grandpa and Rocky and Bullwinkle under his belt.
I agree.
Yeah. So those hold him back. It's a shame, but they hold him back.
Yeah. And you want to have the, like longevity. You want someone to be able to perform for a long time. But when you're looking at the, like you said, Daniel Day-Lewis, he's got, and as far as the Oscars go, it kind of represents exactly. He has 6 nominations and 3 wins. Daniel Day-Lewis, and that batting average is fucking incredible because the amount of films he chose to be in and the amount of time he would take in between, as he got older, to just kind of let it live its life. Let the role, let the Daniel Plainview role live its life and let it kind of build its own legacy rather than jump into something right away, like De Niro has done for the past 20 years.
But De Niro also, I think some of his best work isn't recognized by the Academy. Like 2 of my all-time favorite performances are The King of Comedy and The Untouchables, which aren't, recognized. I mean, his turn as Al Capone is unrivaled, in my opinion. Like, that is scary good. And then, Rupert Pupkin, The Perfect Psychopath. I mean, this guy really was amazing at Once Upon a Time. And we get the occasional, blip of, the De Niro that was. Like, I think Joker was a great little bit we had from him.
Yeah, he was good in that. Yeah.
But also, Dirty Grandpa. Like, you're not going to live that one down.
You really aren't. It's impossible. But like you said, there was a time when he was able to do, Mean Streets and Godfather and Taxi Driver, and then his 80s run that's not recognized, The Untouchables, Once Upon a Time in America, The King of Comedy. Great movies. Midnight Run, 1988. The guy's incredible. I like him, in This Boy's Life and A Bronx Tale, Casino, Heat, The Fan, Marvin's Room, fucking Jackie Brown, fucking God, Robert De Niro and Jackie Brown as Louis Gar. He's so good. He's so good in that movie, and it looks like he's not even fucking trying. He's just smoking weed and just kind of, just kind of fucking meandering about. And I could watch it. I could watch it all day. I could also just watch that movie all day because it's awesome. But man, the score, I even like the score. So what happened? It's got to be Meet the Parents.
That's where the line is drawn. Something maybe what?
Shark Tale. You can't be in Shark Tale and not be fucked by the gods of movies.
maybe De Niro was the only one affected by Y2K. Maybe something in his head got a little fried and he just started taking shit gigs.
Oh man. Robert De Niro. Can he be the GOAT if he has all those paycheck gigs? I don't know.
I don't know. To me, the GOAT doesn't appear in schlock like Shark Tale.
I think I agree, man. I think I'm with you on that. It's hard to swallow. It's hard to really, to process that Robert De Niro just has this to his career. Well, it would be like if Michael Jordan kept playing into his 50s and 60s and was just losing to everybody. Just like in Space Jam when Danny DeVito's like, and you'll always lose. It'd be like that. It's just why'd you do that? Why didn't you stop when you were the best on the planet?
Yeah. It's, De Niro's 2000s run is basically Jordan's baseball run.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, just longer. Yeah, that's perfect. He's definitely in the. We're both huge fans. He's in that conversation no matter what. But that's the ammo you use if you're saying this guy versus this guy. You're going to use that as ammo to kind of trying to separate them. Oh boy, the time has come to move on to Robin Williams, a absolute legend, a guy that we've been able to cover early on in the show with Dead Poets Society. That was an episode that I kind of had in my mind before I even started joining Filmgazm. Just uber important movie. And so are these other 3. Robin Williams was nominated for Best Actor in a Lead Role, Good Morning Vietnam, 1987. He was nominated for Best Actor in a Lead Role, Dead Poets Society, 1989. He was nominated again for Best Actor in a Lead Role, The Fisher King, 1991. And then finally, he got his win for Best Actor in a Supporting Role, 1997, Good Will Hunting.
Oh, I've seen all these films too. Very happy about that as well. God, he's, I mean, not just one of the funniest men who ever lived, but one of the warmest, one of the most talented. I mean, just watching him bullshit his way through any interview, just riffing off the top of his head, is amazing. Like, nobody could riff like he could. And then when it came to drama, he fucking brought it. He really wasn't, he was a Renaissance man. He could do anything. Oh.
Yeah. You know, I hate like where my mind goes just when after I think about him or speak about him, or, you know, am trying to like think about his role in Awakenings. I can't. It's so hard to not just like start sobbing. I remember where I was when I heard the news in 2014 when he passed away at 63. Like vividly, you know, I can see where I was sitting right now. And just that there was something that just clicked about him and him being gone that I hadn't felt with like an artist before. I hadn't felt that kind of like immediate, just fuck, that pain that you feel when it's someone you know, when a family member or a friend or whatever it is, or I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if that's a feeling people get, but I didn't understand it until he passed away. You know, it was like, what? Just, you know, the genie, you know, I was 19 years old in 2014. And I remember just, that guy is a massive part of my childhood and has become a massive part of my adolescence and my formative years when watching Dead Poets Society. Just, he means like so much to me, you know, as a teenager and into my 20s, as I'm watching stuff now that he's gone, and I'm just, you know, the fuck this guy, the balls this guy had, the talent he possessed is more than, you know, I feel like I have in my finger. Like, I feel like he was just oozing with ability to read the space, read the people, and just kind of give them what they needed. And man, you know, just really sucks. This one really fucking sucks. Same year as Philip Seymour Hoffman. I remember just being just fucking so angry. And so kind of, I gotta watch more movies. And that year, you know, 2014, you and I spoke about that year early on this show with Whiplash. 2014, I made a conscious decision that year. I'm going to go see more movies because I have to chase this so my mind can stay occupied. This is the thing I'm going to use to kind of cope with this bullshit, you know, this stuff going on, and just kind of processing that people leave, you know, people die, people leave. And it, for whatever reason, you know, it was the combination of you know, PSH and Robin Williams that I felt like that changed me as a person, those two people. And just, I'm going to consciously choose to watch more movies because that makes me feel better. That helps me cope and process things. And I mean, if my life meant anything like that to somebody, you know, that's what you want, right? Is to inspire. And Robin Williams did that every goddamn day. Whether he knew it or not, wanted to believe it or not, that's not up for us to decide. He's just an absolute legend. And anytime we get to talk about him, it's going to be super difficult because these are the kind of thoughts that go through my head. It's just really, really difficult.
Well, he was so warm and open and approachable about everything that he dealt with that I think so many people around the world felt close to him because of that, because they felt like he understood what it felt like to be alone, what it felt like to be constantly at war with your own thoughts.
Mhm.
And when he lost that war, so many people felt like they lost it with him. And that's a
Yeah.
feeling I don't think will ever go away to his many fans, myself included. And the only thing that I can do is continuously seek out his work and
Yeah.
just enjoy what we have, enjoy
Yeah.
what we got, what has lasted, because he will never go away. We will always have him because of his legacy. And films like Awakenings are a vast part of that legacy. And I'm very proud to have finally watched this movie and added it to my pile. And I'll never stop. He's one of the greatest human beings who ever lived.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a one of a kind, and a guy who has just this bonkers resume all over the place. And I'd say, Good Morning Vietnam is when it really, for his movie career, it's when it really jumps off. Uh, but we have to mention, Hook, like this movie meant a lot to us as kids. It's a really, really big movie. And Aladdin, just how, you're just piercing through a kid's heart, right? It's just that when you do those roles and you fucking nail them, they're going to last forever, because kids are never going to stop watching that original Aladdin, from 1992.
It's perfection. Have you ever seen the film Club Paradise from 1986?
I have. I was going to mention that because that's right before Good Morning Vietnam. Yeah. Yeah. That's one. That's kind of a deep cut. Yeah.
Yeah. That movie is funny as hell and so
Uh-huh.
like hidden. It's so like
Uh-huh.
underrated. And I love when somebody's actually seen it. That movie's so funny.
Yeah. It's beautiful. The year we were born, 1995, Jumanji.
Oh,
He's incredible in that. 1996, he's in The Birdcage. Awesome movie. Fantastic movie. And he's off his rocker in that one. He's so good. 97, he's in Flubber and Good Will Hunting. Talk about you're speaking to the children, and then you're just destroying everybody with what you're doing in Good Will Hunting. I'm not a huge fan of Good Will Hunting, but I'm a huge fan of the character Sean, and what he's doing in that movie. Just totally lights out. I'm really glad he got a win at some point. I wish it would have been for other stuff, but that's you can't always pick and choose. 1 Hour Photo, Insomnia. RV I watched all the time as a kid. Man of the Year I used to watch all the time. August Rush I used to watch all the time as a kid. Night at the fucking Museum, he plays Teddy Roosevelt. I watched that as a kid all the time.
When he passed, I went through my kind of mental list of childhood movies. And it really, for the first time, occurred to me just how influential his work was to my development as a child. I mean,
Yeah.
Aladdin, Hook, Jumanji, like these were all constantly on rotation in my in my life, and I put them on, and I still felt connected to those films. I still feel that.
Oh yeah.
And he's a big part of that, and I'll always be grateful for that connection.
Yeah, he kind of is able to speak to you wherever you're at in your life. My mom is obsessed with Birdcage. She's like really into that movie. It's really cool that she can be into that. Then like when we were children, we were really into Aladdin and Flubber and Hook. And then as we get older, Dead Poet Society and Awakenings, and like it's just never gonna stop. We're never gonna stop falling in love with his craft. Because he really is one of the most unique, kind of character actors who could just carry a movie if he needed to. Yeah. If you wanted him to just come in and kind of do the heat check thing, he can do that. But he's also, he's fucking genie, and he can be, Keating and Dead Poets. He can carry a film and give it this kind of, this just, individualism that nobody else really matches. And yeah, I love him to death, man. Him and De Niro. It's really special to be able to talk about those two guys on the same show. Really cool.
Very cool indeed. Very cool.
Yeah, well, not going to get any lighter here as we move on to the next performer. This will be the last performer that we'll talk about, and then we'll move on to some kind of crew members. It's Max von Sydow. Passed away a little over a year ago, March of 2020. He went right after kind of COVID took over. He left us. I believe he was 90 years old.
Yeah.
There's not, this Oscar resume is just kind of fucking silly when you're talking about Max, because he was nominated twice in his long, illustrious career. And anytime he pops up in anything, you're just, if you're like me and Connor and I, you smile ear to ear. It's just because shit, this guy's just gonna lay it on thick. He's the fucking master actor and has a voice like nobody else. Oh. So he just pierces through you. I love this guy.
He's one of those guys who feels like he's always been there. Like any decade of film, he's had a part of it. It feels like. And I do think he should have more nominations here. I have not seen Hail the Conqueror, but I have seen Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. And yeah, he is just the very definition of a character actor, a guy who's there, who just adds to the kind of the flavor of the movie.
Yes. Yeah, he definitely, that's right. Flavor is definitely the best way to put it. I think he is like a kick. He's a kick. And whether it be, his, like in The Exorcist, he just has like a stamp on that movie that nobody else probably could have done correctly. And then go 40 years later, to like Shutter Island. He's the best part of that movie. He just slightly creepy enough to, kind of get under your skin, but you want to keep watching him. Yeah, I love this guy. He's one of those people that, like you said, touches every decade, as a part of every decade. I can't wait to just keep kind of uncovering things as I watch more and more movies. That's going to be really special.
My all-time favorite Max von Sydow performance is an uncredited performance. He is the voice of Vigo the Carpathian in Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, there you go.
And
that's perfect.
I love that because I found that out years after I've loved that movie my whole life. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Max von Sydow, not the crazy Dutch guy they got to play Vigo. But yeah, it's just a little thing. And then he also voices Vigo in the Ghostbusters video game that came out back in 2008. So
there you go.
I just love that little bit of Max von Sydow's career, that he was willing to not only voice an uncredited evil painting, but then do it again for a video game.
Oh man, it's a one of a kind. He, has, like, he's in Footloose and Flash Gordon.
Ming.
Wait, who does all these things? Like, what? He's in this one of my favorite 1975 movies, 3 Days of the Condor, and he's just unforgettable in it because he's Max von Sydow. every single thing he does is kind of a stamp. I admire him. I can't wait to uncover more things. Do you have something you're like dying to see? Because I got to see The Seventh Seal. Never seen it, so it's going to be time soon.
Shit, honestly, The Seventh Seal is probably mine as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a movie we both got to see. It's a movie, a cinephile's kind of movie. 1957. We got to see that at some point.
Absolutely, and I would like to tackle Pell the Conqueror as well.
Yeah, me too. That's his other nominated performance, and then Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. So lots of years in between those. He's awesome, man. Yeah, we gotta talk about him. This next dude we just talked about last week. It's Randy Newman. What could be said about him? He's just one of the best. He's also in that discussion for composers and music people in movies. The GOAT. He's in that conversation.
Yeah, Randy Newman, his music is a treasure.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite Randy Newman like movie score? Do you have one of those?
Well, I mean, the obvious choice is Toy Story, but
Yeah, but we kind of spoke last week how that's a bit, it's good, but it's not like
all right.
great.
I have a Randy Newman movie moment.
Okay. I like
The
this
Naked
even
Gun,
better.
1988.
Okay.
The scene where Lieutenant Frank Drebin is trying to find the assassin at the baseball game. It's a montage synced to Randy Newman's "I Love L.A." And I've always loved that song as it's a perfect montage song. It's also in the Mr. Bean movie, and it's just
hell yeah,
kind of all over the place. But yeah, his music is very distinct. His scores and his songs, I love his Bugs Life score. Like, the guy has just kind of been, working behind the scenes to make some of our favorite movies even better for years.
Yeah. He's so goddamn good. Bugs Life, that's a great shout. Definitely one of my favorites. As the listeners of Filmgazm Productions know, I love Bugs Life. Monsters Inc. I also love. He did that one as well. His resume is pretty crazy as far as the Oscars go, so bear with us on this one. We got nomination for Best Score and Best Original Song. That's Ragtime, 1981. The song is called One More Hour. Nominated again for Best Original Song from Parenthood, 1989. The song is I Love to See You Smile. He was nominated for Best Original Score, 1990, Avalon. Original Song, 1994, The Paper, for the song Make Up Your Mind. Nominated for Original Song and Score, Toy Story, You've Got a Friend in Me. Nominated for Best Original Musical or Comedy Score, James and the Giant Peach, 1996. 1998, Pleasantville, Original Score, and then also A Bug's Life, and also Babe, Pig in the City. 3.
Who is up for 3 Oscars in the same year in any category? That's amazing.
Randy Newman is. Jesus. And it's actually 3 separate categories because it's original song for Babe, it's best musical or comedy score for A Bug's Life, and best dramatic score, Pleasantville. Let's go. And he didn't win any of them. That's even funnier. So still no wins yet for old Randy Newman. It's coming. Toy Story 2, Best Original Song, When She Loved Me. Just, good God, a gut-wrenching song. That's Jesse's moment in Toy Story 2. Best Original Score, 2001, Monsters, Inc. And then he wins Best Original Song, Monsters, Inc., If I Didn't Have You. That's his first win.
You missed original song for Meet the Parents.
Oh, 2001 as well. Yeah, how about that? You might as well knock out a through and through comedy and a kids movie in the same year. Why not? Yeah, and I love Meet the Parents. A Fool in Love is the song that was nominated. That score is super underrated. That movie's underrated, and it is definitely a turning point in Robert De Niro's career. Cars, he's nominated for Best Song, Our Town, 2006. He's nominated for, let's see, Song, and what is this? Princess and the Frog. Oh, 2 different songs from the same movie. Look at this guy. Down in New Orleans and Almost There. Good God. He kind of does everything. Just like, oh, I'll do 3 movies in 1 year and get all these nominations. I'll do the same movie and get them in the same category. He gets a win for best original song, We Belong Together, Toy Story 3, 2010. That's great. Then he's nominated for, this is funny, he's nominated for best score, Marriage Story 2019, and also 2019 he's nominated for best original song, Toy Story 4, I Can't Let You Throw Yourself Away. Yeah.
Randy Newman.
Randy fucking Newman. So he's got a win for Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story 3. You gotta love that.
He's not just the guy who wrote that weird short people song in the 70s. He's also a very talented composer.
Yeah, he's not he's not just got that crazy voice where Charlie from It's Always Sunny. I like life at Patty's Pub. I love that episode. It's so good. Uh, let's see. We got an interesting fella here after Randy Newman, not as well known. uh, that's kind of hard to do though. Kind of one of the only composers that people know his name, like Randy Newman. You know, it's kind of like John Williams and Hans Zimmer. You just know who we're talking about. This next guy, the cinematographer, Miroslav Ondracek. I don't know how to say it. Not as well known, but Awakenings. One of the things that jumped out to me was indeed, I mentioned earlier for Penny Marshall, is just the goddamn camera knows exactly what it wants to do this whole movie. Right from the get-go. It's a super dramatic movie. Definitely got a bit of that sprinkled Oscar bait in it, but it stays away from being, boring because first off, the performances are amazing, which we obviously talked about with Robert and Robin, but the way the camera is fixated on some stuff and the way it moves and some of the wide shots in this movie are fucking incredible. And there's a bit in the movie that I'm going to talk about in my awards that I was blown away. I was blown away by just the eyes behind the camera had to be moving in a direction that nobody else saw. And I love that. He also has 2 nominations. Was not nominated for Awakenings, but he was nominated for Best Cinematography, Ragtime 1981, and fucking Amadeus 1984. Do we need to say anything else? Obviously there's an eye there.
Did he not win for Amadeus? Who won?
I don't know. I don't. Amadeus is one of the few movies that I'd be okay with winning like everything.
Well,
at the Oscars,
the cinematography of that film is pretty unparalleled. I want to know who the hell defeated him that year. I'm looking it up.
Check it out, man. Interesting. Oh, who is it?
Chris Menges for The Killing Fields.
Okay, all right. We'll have to check that out one day when we go back to 1984. We did Places in the Heart from that year. Sally Field. Cool movie. But yeah, I would love to kind of go back and look at some other stuff. Miroslav also is the cinematographer on A League of Their Own, so he must have some kind of friendship with Penny Marshall. This is a partnership that's happened more than once. But that Amadeus, having that on your resume is kind of all you need, right? Okay. That's for everybody involved in Amadeus. It's just yeah. Good on you for working on that movie.
Yeah, that movie's a work of art. I'm impressed.
It's hard for me to decide if that's Milos Forman's masterpiece or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's so hard.
Just to have, I love people who can claim to have more than one masterpiece. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's the best, man. I love that idea. That idea of, okay, let's put aside, the quirky stuff that maybe you like a lot, and stuff that's personal. Straight up, what's this guy's best movie or best performance? And I think Milos Forman, like he has, I really like The People vs. Larry Flint, but come on, it doesn't come close to Amadeus or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and just the fucking scale. The scale of those movies and what the stories that they're telling are so awesome. One dealing with these, egotistical musicians from years and years and years ago, and the other one dealing with a Ken Kesey book about these people who are quote unquote crazy. So yeah, love Milos. That's awesome. I love that we find guys like Miroslav who are in these kind of little pockets of film, and now we know. Hey, that's the guy that shot Awakenings and fucking Amadeus. So that's really cool. And Ragtime's a movie I've always wanted to see. So one day I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm sure when we get to the 80s, that'll be probably on that list.
It's tough because we did that Chariots of Fire fucking Best Picture Showdown. There's some cool movie, Atlantic City's awesome. And of course, Raiders and On Golden Pond and Reds. Those are all pretty good movies. But I would love to kind of get in those, those little pockets where you find kind of the random gold. Cause we've done that here and there. And I think Awakenings is kind of one of those movies. I have to bring this guy up. He's the second to last guy I'll talk about, but I want to bring him up briefly because you'll love this. He's the production designer on Awakenings. Not nominated, but he was nominated in 1989 and won for fucking Batman.
Fuck yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this is the Gotham that we love. And we've talked about this on Filmgazm, and I think probably on Sneak Preview when we did the all that Batman, that recast shit. I think you and I have always been in love with that, the 1989 and 1992, that world, that Gotham. And hey, Anton Furst is a big part of that.
That's fantastic. I love that. And if you know your Batman lore, you know that Robin Williams was used as bait to get Jack Nicholson on board, and then was later again used as bait to get Jim Carrey on board. So Batman has screwed over Robin Williams quite often, like to the point where he was like, "Fuck you, I'm never working with Warner Brothers again." But that little, weird kind of Kevin Bacon-esque connection there is cool.
Yeah, I love that stuff. And this guy, Anton Furst, I'm just kind of realizing something here. He passed away a year after Awakenings. So he passed away in 1991 at age 47. And look at his resume right before he passed away. It's Full Metal Jacket, High Spirits, Batman, and Awakenings. Oof. I just got chills. He's the production designer on those movies. What would have happened next? I mean, his career looked like it was on pace to he's just going to be on these awesome movies.
He killed himself after breaking up with Beverly D'Angelo.
Oh, I see that now. He committed suicide in 1991. Yeah. Holy shit.
Jesus.
This episode just got fucking darker. I don't know what to say. Goodness gracious.
He designed Planet Hollywood.
Yeah, I see that. And the restaurant co-owned by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, and Sylvester Stallone towards the end of night. Announced intention to kick Dre. Okay, so he was on drugs right prior in November 1990.
Fuck, man.
Good Lord. Yeah. It sounds like Anton Furst we could talk about for a long time. I was going to go over him briefly just because I saw that Batman win and I was like, that's fucking kick ass, dude. These are movies that are super important to you and I, some of our favorite superhero shit. And here we are learning about this kind of tragic end he had. I mean, for the love of God, for Awakenings to be the last movie. Damn. Jesus, man, that is so sad. Rest in peace, Anton Furst. I'm glad to know your name now, man. Yeah. Rest in peace.
I do want to point out he also assisted in the special effects for Alien and Moonraker.
Good God.
This guy had a hell of a
for Alien?
Yeah.
At age 25? Oh no, 35. Oh, still. Fuck. Oh my God, dude. Well, Anton, first we'll not be forgetting your name, sir. Thank you for your work. And again, rest in peace. That sucks, man.
Shit. Wow.
Good Lord. Yeah. This is why we do these things. This is why you fucking read. I don't mind learning this as we do this.
No.
This is pretty cool, honestly. To make these connections and to have this awareness of this guy, the guy that helped design the production for Batman 1989. We can know now who contributed to that greatly. So, man, that is tough. It's hard to even move on from that. Because again, I have one more guy. I really had no idea. I had intended on getting through that really quickly, but we just learned way more than we thought we would. That is incredible, man.
Yeah. This is, there's just I don't know if this is. I didn't anticipate this being a very suicide heavy episode, but
No.
it happens.
Yeah. No. Again, yeah, I didn't really like plan that. So we'll do the best to to move on here to George de Tita. Not sure how to say that. He's in charge of art direction, set decoration on Awakenings, and I found this little tidbit. He worked on Ragtime with some with Miroslav, so you got a little connection there. He was nominated for best art direction. So that's the last individual I have. I love making connections with the film industry. Sometimes it's gonna kind of shock you what you find out, and with Mr. Anton First, that's what we got. And man, oh man, I just can't get past this. That is so crazy. I feel like he could get his own Filmgazm episode. The way we used to do stuff. We used to do kind of weird shit Wednesdays and kind of cover different things. I feel like this guy has like a whole thing to unpack, and look at. Just those movies alone. Those are movies that are going to be a part of our life. Big time stuff. Well, I want to look at, before we get to our awards, I want to look at the 63rd Academy Awards. We've been talking about these individuals. Might as well look at the shit show that is the 63rd Academy Awards, Dances with Wolves. Fuck you. It's only 3. So you want to start with, well, we should, I guess, end with Best Picture, even though we've kind of talked about that. Best Actor is fun. I guess we'll do Screenplay, yeah?
Yeah, Best Adapted Screenplay. Interesting group of films here. We've got Awakenings, Goodfellas, The Grifters, Reversal of Fortune, and the winner, Dances with Wolves. Now, again, how does Goodfellas lose this award?
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
Dances with Wolves, man.
Oh, Awakenings has its argument. I think there's some stuff, some specific scenes, but Goodfellas is the whole goddamn thing. So, yeah, I don't think there's real competition, but I think Awakenings has something to say. The Grifters, while I love that movie to death, I wouldn't really compare it to something like Goodfellas. And Reversal of Fortune, I have not seen. I can't wait to see it because that's Jeremy Irons. I cannot wait to see that movie. It's shame on us for not getting to that one sooner.
I know. Yeah, there's a few movies that have just kind of been like, poking me for years. Reversal of Fortune is one of those films.
Yeah. Its time will come. Its time will come.
Best Actor. We have Kevin Costner for Dances with Wolves, Robert De Niro for Awakenings, Gerard Depardieu for Cyrano de Bergerac, Richard Harris for The Field, and the winner, Jeremy Irons, Reversal of Fortune. What an interesting group of gentlemen here. Gerard Depardieu, now I believe he has some very serious rape allegations up against him right now.
Yeah, you're correct.
So rest in piss, Gerard Depardieu. When you finally pass out, you look like shit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no kidding.
What happened? Richard Harris, an actor I've always loved, even though I've seen so little of his work. For me, as a kid, it was, the Harry Potter and then the Count of Monte Cristo. He was just kind of there. And I would love to just really dive into his, 20th century work.
Yeah.
The Field.
Yeah. No, the Field, it looks like you and I would just kind of lose our shit over it with John Hurt and Sean Bean, this Irish drama. Yeah, we got to see this.
Absolutely. And then I got it. I wish I could kind of judge for myself whether or not Jeremy Irons deserved that award. I guess we will have to just kind of battle it out between Costner and De Niro here.
Yeah. You and I are in the same boat here, where we haven't seen those 3, but we've seen Dances with Wolves and Awakenings. And that's absolutely no competition. De Niro just is good, and Kevin Costner is fine. He's passable, I guess. But De Niro is really giving it all. The more interesting question is, where does Awakenings rank amongst De Niro's best stuff?
I rank it high. He is unbelievable in
this. Like top, is it like a top 5 kind of performance to you?
For me, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen him play hard asses. I've seen him play psychos. I've seen him play politicians. I've seen him play cops. I've never seen him play a character like Leonard Lowe, a character who isn't, in control of his own mind, a character who is pretty much broken, but then allowed to come back to a world that's moved on without him. And that's an incredibly difficult thing to capture, but De Niro makes it look effortless. And I believed every single bit of his performance. Like, I don't want to spoil too much of my awards, but there's one scene where he looks in the mirror for the first time and he's like, in his eye, he doesn't say it, but you can see in his eyes, he's thinking, I'm so old. Like, this is not the face that he remembers. And he relays all that without words. And that is incredible. It's all in his eyes and his facial tics. And that is an incredibly difficult thing to pull off. So, as I said, Robin Williams and De Niro are both very far outside of their comfort zones in this film, but they both excel when they're challenged. And that's why we got this incredible performance. And I think he should have walked away with a third Oscar for this.
That would have been cool, for sure. Again, we got to see that Irons win. But it is hard to believe that his role as Leonard Lowe would lose, especially a year after Daniel Day played Christy Brown. Both physically demanding in a way that just not really many people can pull off. And he does it. He does it. Not only does he pull off, he makes you believe all these things, like you said. His facial expressions are better than, in one scene is better than what most people can do in a whole movie. He's just, he's lights out. And I think I just forgot how committed he is. And I forgot how it's like at the hour mark when he finally is like speaking. That commitment, that kind of drawn out part of the movie, just, it makes you feel it. Makes you feel this like vegetative state that he's in. You just fucking understand it as a viewer. And not a lot of people can do something that like giving, that physically giving and demanding, when, again, you're in fucking Goodfellas the same year, where you're just popping off and yelling and cursing and doing all this and that, just having fun, doing what every actor is like, yeah, fuck yeah, I could do that all day. He does something in the same year that is polar opposite. And it would have been very cool to see him win, for either movie, but especially for Awakenings, the one he was nominated for. It's hard to kind of figure out a top 5 De Niro, because every single one you think about, you're just convinced that that's the best of his whole career. When you pinpoint Taxi Driver, you're like, oh, Travis, that's it. That's the role. Like, but wait, I think he might have done better stuff in Mean Streets. Wow, but wait, but wait, I think Raging Bull is his his masterpiece, his role, his best role ever, and it goes so on and so forth. I wouldn't be mad if someone said Heat was his, Casino. I wouldn't be mad. He's got a lot of roles, a lot of performances that simply just pop. That pop, and they're unforgettable. And Leonard Lowe is right up there. Can't argue that.
Yeah, like I said, earlier, I miss De Niro. I miss these incredible performances we used to get. But now it's, he's been typecast as the weird grandpa.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but he can't escape it.
this, yeah, multiple, like 8 nominations, 2 Oscar wins is, yeah, just kind of like, all right, whatever.
Damn. But we'll always have Awakenings.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have the gold. That's why he's still looked at as one of the best, because he has that gold.
Hell yeah. I guess that takes us to Best Picture. We've got Awakenings, Ghost, The Godfather Part 3, Goodfellas, and The Winner Dances with Wolves. What an odd assortment of subpar movies, and then Awakenings and Goodfellas. It's a very weird choice, especially when we know that great stuff came out that year.
This just happened to us, man. With the 1953.
Yeah.
Like, one movie was good, Roman Holiday we both kind of liked, and the rest were like, whatever. And it's just, this is the exact same thing. Just two good, 3 so-so. And I don't want so-so. I don't want so-so in the Best Picture group. I want The Grifters. I want Misery. I want something different. For fuck's sake, I'll take Dick Tracy. I'll take, I don't know, throw a Green Card in there by Peter Weir. Doesn't matter. Just change it up. This is so predictable and dumb.
I'm gonna be honest. Fuck Dick Tracy. I hate
that's
that
fair.
movie.
That's fair.
I'm with you on everything else.
Fuck Dick Tracy. No. Home Alone. Fucking put Home Alone in there, and I'll be okay. Over Godfather 3 or Dances with Wolves. Young Guns 2 getting a nomination for Best Original Song.
Hunt for Red October. Like,
fuck, that's actually a really good movie. Yeah, I'm just looking at ones that were nominated here. It's just, there's Edward Scissorhands. There's plenty.
Unbelievable. Well, I don't know. Maybe I think just, for Godfather 3 at least, I understand the what's the term? Like, just how that kind of steamrolled the competition. Francis Ford Coppola is making a third Godfather. Holy shit, it's got to be amazing. And then it came out, and I feel like no critic, or at least no, Academy member wanted to tell Francis Ford Coppola, hey, your movie sucks. Your daughter's a terrible actress.
Yeah, you should not make this.
You just took a giant shit on your legacy, Frank. Like, nobody wanted to say that. So that's how we end up with The Godfather 3 getting a bunch of nominations.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah, just a silly group, and that's why we didn't choose it for the Best Picture Showdown towards the end of this 90s run. It just no, I'm good. I don't feel like giving awards out to Dances with Wolves. See, when we did Hamlet, I didn't know that. We didn't know that. We didn't know that movie was going to be boring and this or that. But Dances with Wolves, we know. We've seen it. Just not something we want to talk about for an hour and a half.
It is so much worse when you're about to watch a boring as shit movie for 3 hours.
Yep.
And I saw Dances with Wolves in 2017, so it's been a minute. But honestly, I need a few more years before I'm willing to go.
Oh, dude, I haven't watched all the way through since I was in middle school, and that's it. That's all I needed. I think I was 14, and I was just like, "What is this mess?" Like what? Well, how? And at that time, of course, I was like, that's when I was watching Goodfellas, and I was like, this is the shit. And I remember learning that and just being kind of bewildered. And there was a time where those kind of things just deterred me away from the Oscars altogether.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I don't have to love the Oscars. I can like some of the movies they nominate. I don't have to love everything they do, but I can appreciate some of the films that are nominated. That's it.
Yeah, that's the whole reason we do this show is, we understand that an Oscar win is essentially a giant popularity contest, but
yeah,
it still matters in terms of film history. The term Oscar winner, Oscar nominee, it still means something.
Hell yeah, it does. And here's in the same year, I'll try not to be cynical for a couple minutes. Not very easy for me to do. There is one decision from this year that I respect on a level that not many times has the Academy reached that place, and it's giving Kathy Bates the win for Misery. Awesome movies in this group. I haven't seen Mr. and Mrs. Bridge, but Postcards from the Edge, fucking awesome. Pretty Woman, fun movie. The Grifters, fantastic, and Misery, just lights out, awesome, badass movie. Should totally be up for Best Picture. She is so fucking good in it, and it's cool to see a movie like Misery, a horror movie, be represented and win. That's always special. It doesn't happen often. And I think Misery still stands the test of time and is just super kick-ass. And she's unforgettable. She's unforgettable in it. And I'm really glad they made that call. Within a bad ceremony, we do have that Kathy Bates win.
It is a great landmark for horror that Kathy Bates won that award, because her performance as Annie Wilkes really has kind of gone down as maybe the best adapted King character to film, I think. I mean, an argument could be made there. Mm-hmm. I would love to see James Caan up for Best Actor.
Oh, dude.
And also during this award, during this show, we've got another award that I think is one of the most justified Oscars in history, and that's Joe Pesci in Goodfellas.
Oh, yeah. And the best speech of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, just thanks. I wish more people did that shit.
Yeah. Here and there, you will find, cool little wins. Like something that I find super, super fascinating is Journey of Hope wins Best Foreign Language Film. Yet Cyrano de Bergerac is up for a bunch of shit all over the place, and even up for a performing Oscar. So how did that happen? And it makes me want to watch both movies and see what happened here. Did Journey of Hope, someone pay somebody off? What happened here? I'd love to see both of those films and kind of compare them. An American Dream, Barbara Koppel, I've heard is one of the best documentaries ever. Can't believe I haven't seen it yet. Shame on me. That's one of my favorite categories. I gotta see that. There is stuff here worth watching. It just sucks that the big award goes to the movie that just is just boring and forgettable. It just sucks when that happens.
I do love that we've done so many of these at this point. We do immediately think like, who paid off whom?
Yeah,
nominated. We've seen that happen so many times.
Yeah.
Really are like, well, of course, that's why that's here. Somebody got bribed.
It's fantastic. I love it, man. I love it. Well, luckily it's not a proper Best Picture showdown, so we don't have to talk about it anymore. Let's just go straight to Awakenings. Straight back to Awakenings, where it's good and we feel all right. We have awards to give out to this movie, which was a little tougher than I thought in a couple categories. Had a real tough time with my Tarantino. Had a real hard time with my Ennio. And the other two were a little easier for me to do. But man, these were tough, and they made me really, really kind of get emotional about just what this movie means to me, as a viewer. And just so before we get into it, we haven't really spoken much about how Awakenings is based on a memoir of the same name, written by Oliver Sacks, 1973. And, he is kind of credited here, for kind of working with Steven Zalian. So it's kind of like a good little partnership. And that's why if the movie, from what I've read, and I think from you've read, is very accurate, and is very good depiction of what was going on.
I do have one little bit of trivia. I would be remiss if I didn't point this out.
Please share. Yes.
This film, Awakenings, is the debut film of one Vin Diesel.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Wait. Who does he play? Wait.
He has an uncredited role as one of the orderlies.
I gotta see like a shot of that. I mean, yeah, I wasn't gonna be able to point him out in the movie, but I still want to see like a picture of him in the movie. Yeah. What the fuck? What a crazy! And here he is doing Fast 9, today. Holy shit! God. That's him. Yeah,
he looks like Sean Astin.
That's a good call.
That's weird. It's so weird seeing him with hair.
Man, this is kind of blowing my mind.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Jesus. Anyways, that's wild for Vin Diesel to be just, that was my first movie. Awakenings. Good Lord.
Beautiful. Yeah, I just needed to point that out. I read that. It was like, holy.
Thank you. Yeah, that's blowing my mind. So good. I wish I would have seen that before. Another performer that I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I totally forgot he's in this is Peter Stormare.
Yeah, as the chemist guy. Yeah, I was.
As that professor. Yeah. What the fuck? I know jazz musician Dexter Gordon is also in it. Of course, Bradley Whitford, that fucker. I was watching this with my fiance Brianna last night, and I was like, that's the fucking evil dad from Get Out, that bastard. Because
I would have voted for Obama a third time if I could have.
Yeah, thank God. Whitford really gives that movie an extra. Him and Catherine Keener give it this juice that is frightening.
They play old Democrat, like evil, secretly racist couple a little too well.
100% agreed. And Bradley Whitford's perfect as this kind of like in Awakenings as this kind of fucking jealous doctor, who's just like, this guy and his stupid big words, he's perfect. He reminded me a lot of his role in Billy Madison as Eric.
I love that they're also doctors, but they're looking at him like, you're crazy. What? No.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
This is not wild shit. This is like, oh, and by the way, fiance, I love hearing that. So
yeah, that happened now about 2 months ago. I feel like I usually think I just say Brianna because her.
Yeah.
The listeners don't know her. Some, she's appeared on Sneak Preview a few times. But I normally would just say Brianna, but that time I felt the need to say fiance for whatever reason. Love you, Brianna.
So happy for you guys. Well, should we do this?
Yeah, let's do these awards and get the hell out of here. And, start focusing on next week's movie. Cause this Awakenings episode has been tough, man. It's been gritty.
Yeah. We've gone to some dark places I was not expecting to go today.
No, neither did I really. When you're talking about Robin Williams, it's just going to be hard because you can't avoid this discussion and just those emotions. But yeah, I took a whole different thing with Anton Furst and all this stuff we're learning. I really dig it. So it's a perfect way to cap it off, to give this movie awards because we really liked it.
Yes, we did. So the awards, we have the Tarantino, which is,
of course,
our favorite line of the film. We have our Ennio Morricone award, which is our favorite music moment. Could be a score moment, could be a needle drop, could be some dude, whistling to himself as he walks down the road. Who knows? We've got our Philip Seymour Hoffman award, which goes to the best performance of the film, who owned this movie, and of course the Roger Deakins award, which covers the scene of the movie that we think rocks the hardest.
Yes, indeed. So give us your Tarantino, Connor.
That is the first time in 57 episodes that I have introduced the awards. That felt nice.
Yeah, it's fun because these guys are great, right? We love these four guys that they're named after.
So I have two lines for my Tarantino. The first one was just a really quick, little nice jab at John Hurd from Robin Williams.
Fucking John Hurd, this guy.
God, what a bastard. It's too expensive to save all these lives who have been frozen in time for decades. Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, Dr. Kaufman's a joke in this movie. Just a joke. Should never, ever have the title Doctor.
Reminded me every time I know John Hurd's mostly associated with Home Alone, but
Yeah.
he played like the super idiot vice president in this film called My Fellow Americans from the mid 90s with Jack Lemmon and James Garner. Hilarious, underrated comedy.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I've fucking heard of that. Okay. Yeah. Jack Lemmon's when you got me.
Well, John Hurd's the moron vice president who's revealed to have been secretly behind the whole thing. And he says this great line at the end where he's trying to prove his intelligence. And he says, "You thought it was him the whole time, but now you see it was all just a big facade."
That's pretty good.
I'm laughing every time.
That's pretty damn good. I like that.
Anyway.
It's all big facade.
He's immediately arrested, by the way. And so it's when Dr. Sayer is showing off Lucy, I believe, her reflexes. And John Hurd's like, "That's impossible." And Sayer says, "If you were right, I would believe you." Or I would agree. If you were right, I would agree with you.
I would agree with you. Yeah. Oh man.
And like you see John Hurd give him this like, "I think you insulted me, but I'm not sure" kind of look at him.
Yeah.
And just sets up like their kind of dynamic throughout the whole movie. And I thought that was really, it was the first like little moment of pushback that Dr. Sayer gives. And I like that because the whole time he's kind of just like, "Well, all right." But in that brief moment, he's like, "Well, you're wrong, so fuck off," in his own way. And I like that.
Ron Williams is so goddamn good at being kind of a prick, kind of sly, you know, in his own way. He does it in Dead Poets too, when he's talking with another teacher. The teacher quotes Shakespeare, and then Ron Williams does his own thing, and he like guesses who it is, and he says, "No, Keating." Yeah, you just fucking with people because he's smarter than them. His characters are always so goddamn smart. I love it.
A Robin Williams insult is a work of art. It really is.
Yeah. It's like this roundabout, like kind of slapping you in the face way. I love it.
Half the time, you're not even aware you were insulted.
Yeah, you're just like, wait a minute. Yeah, but he's gone to you. Yeah.
And then my second quote comes from Leonard, and this is right after Leonard was awakened, and then again after he regresses. It's when Sayer has him filmed, and he says, "My name is Leonard Lowe. It has been explained to me that I have been away for quite some time. I'm back." Oh, so touching at first, so fucking heartbreaking the second time.
Yeah, the more and more you see it, yeah, the harder that gets. Oh, geez, great picks. That second one was kind of the one I had in mind for this award. And then today, while I was at work, one of them just kind of came back into my head, and I was like thinking about it all day. And it comes from Lucy. One of my favorite characters in the movie, played by Alice Drummond wonderfully. She says at one point, when she's awakened, of course, she says, "I can't imagine being older than 22. I have no experience at it. I know it's not 1926. I just need it to be."
Jesus.
Oh, like just the places my brain goes thinking about that, you know, thinking about, and that is kind of what piques Dr. Sayer is, okay, what is happening in their head? What's happened during this so-called, you know, gap? What is going on? Do they just forget everything? That curiosity of knowing, where are they? They literally are not there, you know? And Lucy, you point out the reflex that she's kind of the first person, you know, oh shit, this is someone that kind of sparks. I just found her performance to be just so devastating and so beautiful at the same time. Just kind of a poetic performance that, you know, from a lady who kind of got overlooked by, you know, award circuits and shit. But she is great in this movie, Alice Drummond, and I love that line. It means so much. You know, it's kind of like a picture where it just has 1,000 different ways to kind of look at it. And this movie does that a few times, though, where it's just this kind of all-encompassing, holy shit, what is life type deal. It's said by multiple people.
Well, and these are people who it comes up, Leonard brings this up a couple times that you don't appreciate life until you lose it, until you have experienced kind of a life without living. And it makes, I'm constantly wondering since I watched this, like, is it worse to never wake up at all or to wake up and then go back to sleep? Like, what's worse? I mean, would they have been better off never having been awakened, to never have tasted freedom and then to have it taken away from them like that? I can't imagine a worse hell.
Yeah. I guess we haven't really talked much about just what the movie's about and this fucking epidemic at one point of this disease.
Yeah.
Of people being in this, this state, where they're gone. And it's so hard to, as a person, looking in, it's so hard to have an opinion because you haven't lost any, you haven't lost memory or lost life. You just know every day. You keep going and you're just stacking these days on top of each other. But it's also, I also think about, for like Leonard waking up, maybe because he doesn't even know when he's not here, he doesn't even know what's going on. We can't say what he would want over the other, because it's very clear that he's very happy to be swimming and listening to music and seeing people and being around. But that being stolen from you, like you're saying, is so dark and so evil to steal that from somebody when they've lost it already and gotten it back. I don't know if there's like a right answer to it, and that's one of those things that I feel like I'll never be able to kind of settle in my head.
Well, and we know from, Leonard using the Ouija board to direct Sayer to that poem that he's not gone in there. He's fully aware of what's happening.
That's true. Not everybody's. Yeah, that's right. Not everybody is like in a total vegetative state. Some of them are comprehending some stuff, which is even scarier, where you can kind of see and feel and okay, but I can't do a goddamn thing about it. That's man. It, like you said, it's kind of the worst personal hell, just trapped.
And the film kind of glosses over the state of American mental institutions before like the 70s or like the 80s. Back in the, in 20th century and way, before that, if you were insane or just even perceived to be insane, you were just locked away and forgotten. Like nobody made any effort to make you better. There was like no, very little in terms of therapy or medication. You were just locked away and looked in on once or twice a week by an orderly, and your family just moved on. And that's fucking horrifying. Like Dr. Sayer was one of the few people who saw these people as living beings who could be saved. And that's, a miracle in its own way.
God. It really is those scenes of them just kind of looking over the documents and seeing atypical. And you're just like, holy shit. There was a time when doctors were just like, oh my God, we have to kind of peel back all of these layers of this bullshit that we've done for mental health. And we have to redo everything, start from scratch. And it's doctors like Oliver Sacks who are okay, thank you for fucking trying,
Yeah. I mean, regardless of how the trial turned out, he did something incredible for these people. He let them be people again. And
yeah.
Oh my God.
And there's like a driving force for them when someone is willing to lead and kind of stand up for you. It gives you purpose to like do stuff every day. Even if you are, completely out of it, there's somewhere in there where it's like, oh, I mean, if this guy's doing this, then I better just kind of move along, when they're throwing the beach ball around. That just does not happen without someone conducting it and leading it and supervising it. And doctors like Oliver Sacks, like that's the kind of shit you have to do. uh, I found it to be crazy how similar I felt about some of the actions Robin Williams takes to some of the actions Jack Nicholson takes in One Flew of the Cuckoo's Nest, where it's just I have to take over, like I have to lead these fucking people because they're getting spit on and kicked in the face every fucking day. I have to be that guy, and I'm going to make it as fun and as, interactive as possible. And I thought that was really special. It was it kind of felt like there was some influence on that 1975 film to this one.
Oh, I saw it for sure. I saw it because both, R.P. McMurphy and Dr. Sayer both realized that just because these people are, declared mentally unfit doesn't mean their lives are over. Doesn't mean they're not human beings. They still need to live. They still need something to look forward to, something to help them stay alive.
Cope. Yeah. Yeah.
To cope. Yeah. That's really what it's all about. You got to cope. And if these people can wake up, if there's even the slimmest chance, he had to take it. And he did.
You got to try. Yeah.
Yeah. It's incredibly uplifting story. It really is.
Oh, truly. Just kind of the, like the guy pushing the boulder up the hill, it's just like, it's worth it. It's worth it to just try, to just give some fucking effort towards something. It is worth it. No matter what it is, I think there's just something to say about someone's character when they're willing to kind of just put on the line, like put your balls out there. Let's go. And Dr. Sayer, that's what's happening in Awakenings. And it's so cool to see this kind of nerdy, at first kind of shy guy just blossom into a full-blown awesome leader.
Yeah.
Super good stuff. I love the Tarantino because it opens up all these different doors for us to talk about the movie. Same thing with the Ennio Morricone. Where'd you go with this? Did you pick some Randy Newman action?
Yeah, it's a score moment.
Okay. What do you got?
And it's just because it moved me and the implications and just, it was right before Leonard fully regresses and Paula gives him a dance. And he gets to dance like one time. And just that little bit was so touching. And he manages to hold himself. He manages to, stop moving and just live in the moment one last time. And it was so sweet. Yeah.
That's one of the better moments of the movie for sure. It could be kind of like a short, like there's like a 5-minute stretch there where it's like, if you just put that into its own thing, it would be kind of remarkable. Because you could just, again, this is to De Niro's credit. You can tell everything that's happening by his face, by his expressions, by the way he's moving. You know what's going on without any context. And that's a beautiful moment. And that's some of the special stuff that Newman has, where he can capture this kind of this personal thing that's happening. He just knows how to make it personal to us as well. That's really cool.
Yeah. Gorgeous. And then him just, staring out the window as she walks away, knowing he may never see her again. He may never know, I love that little exchange earlier on where he tells her, like, your father knows you're visiting him. Like, he knows. Like, that comes back because then, she keeps visiting him when he's catatonic. And you just know that Leonard knows that she's there. And it's, oh man, I'm gonna cry again. Jesus.
Yeah. This shit, man. Oh. This fucking movie. Mine's a bit lighter.
Good.
Let's go. I chose Time of the Season by the Zombies.
Oh. Nice.
Now when Leonard finally gets to go and he's in a car and he's fucking holy shit taking everything in, just the way De Niro looks at the stoplight, and people walking by and they're playing music and he's like, what's this? And Dr. Sayer's like, it's the radio, and it's like, he's like, you can play different music plays on it. And then he goes to Time of the Season by the Zombies is playing. And he's like, what's that? And he's like, that's rock and roll. And I was just like, oh man. And they decide to let the song play basically during the whole scene. And that's when you have the poster of the movie. The poster of the movie is Leonard out on that little rock in the water, and he says, "I'm waiting," and he's like, "You're not waiting, you're swimming." And that I love that moment when you have Robin Williams and Robert De Niro, and you have them in these two roles, like you pointed out at the top of the show, where they're just totally out of their comfort zones. And for this to be the song that they chose to kind of cover that moment, I love the song Standalone. It's a really cool song from 1967, but with this, very cool, very cool. And I believe this is taking place in 1969, so that makes sense. Just a couple years after the song came out. So just really cool kind of bit of culture, and just an awesome moment in the movie when Leonard is like, holy shit, I'm living, baby. Yeah, it's awesome.
I was this close. I almost picked that.
Yeah, it's great.
I've always thought Time of the Season by the Zombies is maybe the sexiest song ever made. But
it's badass.
But that scene also, you have to remember that Leonard has been essentially frozen for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, he has no idea what's happening with the radio.
Yeah. He went in, he became catatonic in 1939. He missed World War II. He missed the space race. He missed the Cold War. Like, yeah. 30 years of human history like that, to just wake up in like the late 60s. I mean, how do you comprehend what the world has become? That is an incredible leap. And the way he handles it is so touching. He's like, he doesn't even question like what happened. He's just like, I'm so happy to see anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, we could all kind of learn something from the way Leonard views the world. I like that.
Yeah. Well, I think if you don't walk away with anything that's sad, at least you should walk away with, the kind of that we take shit for granted. We just take shit for granted. And sometimes movies have to just kind of do that to you, just punch you in the face. Be like, hey, fucking stop being so cynical. I need it all the time. I need it. I need movies desperately. Just again for coping mechanisms, but it's also a way to wake up and be like, oh, all right, it's not so bad.
Yeah. Like, do you know how happy it makes me that a film like Coco can make me cry like that?
There you go.
Yeah. It's a great feeling knowing that you can still be moved like that, I have not yet lost that. And I hope I never lose that.
Yeah, I love that. I love being moved. Like I was telling you before we started recording, I finally got to watch Paris, Texas from 1984. And it was like, I was just crying because I was like, this is so good. It was like tears were coming down. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I crying? Because this movie's fucking awesome. And I love when shit does that. Sometimes I'll cry when I see something happen in sports that I'm just like, what? That was gorgeous. I love seeing people work together. I love seeing people blow me away. Yeah. But there's nothing quite like a dramatic movie just punching you in the gut like Awakenings or Coco. There's nothing like it.
To date, the hardest entertainment has ever made me cry is the series finale of Supernatural.
Those personal things you can't take away. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. Like, I literally had to like pull myself away from the TV and get myself under control. It was weird. Like, I had just like, I appreciate those moments when they do happen. And they're surprisingly not that rare for me these days. I watch so much that a lot of it does get to me emotionally.
Yeah, same. I'm pretty, one of the things that you and I first kind of figured out about each other as movie fans is, and kind of fans of art. So we usually just kind of put our walls down, when we're watching something and just try to let it, if it's going to hit me, I'll let it hit me, that sort of thing. I'm not going to kind of brace myself. There's no need for that. Then you're not going to have fun. You're not going to enjoy it. It's not going to be rewarding. Just allow a movie to just trip you, and kind of take you out. You and I have no problem doing that, and that's definitely why Oscar Sunday works. Is a lot of these movies take us to that place, and you and I are definitely okay with talking about that.
Oh yeah, I would hate myself if I wasn't comfortable talking about that.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go ahead and talk about the PSH. Okay, come on.
It's Bobby D.
Yeah, it's Bobby D. Hey, it's Robert De Niro. Robin Williams, amazing, awesome stuff. But this is a De Niro showcase. Definitely has an argument to be in the top 5 of his whole career, amongst some amazing performances. And to me, one of the easier PSH wins that I can remember from the past few episodes. He's lights out. He's totally deserving of it. And the Philip Seymour Hoffman Award is made with performances like this in mind.
Yeah, this is lights out. The second I saw him in the movie as catatonic Leonard, I'm like, damn, man, what happened to you?
Yeah.
Like, just that you could do that. And then when he wakes up and he's just, he's Leonard, he's this guy, and he sells it so easy. It's mind blowing. I was so impressed. Continuously, yeah. I'm still impressed.
Me too. I love this guy to death. All right, and we'll finish off the night with the Roger Deakins. This one I kind of knew in my head where I was going most of the movie, because I was rewatching it, and it's towards the end, so it kind of stuck with me. But for you, first time watching it, what do you got?
I knew exactly what it was going to be, because I knew this moment was going to happen, and I was right. And it's the scene where Leonard gets to see his mother for the first time.
Oh God, dude!
I immediately fell apart. I immediately burst into tears. I was like, oh my God, just the look on her face, this hope that was long extinguished, finally reawakened by Dr. Sayer. And here it is. Leonard's awake, and just their hug and him just, such a beautiful moment. And I knew nothing was going to top that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That scene is, it feels like if you were to have a kind of montage of De Niro's best moments ever, that's probably the one you put in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's just, just a snippet of each movie that he's in. That's probably the snippet you use. Or that one, like you said, with just his eyes, he's when he's looking in the mirror.
Oh.
Man, yeah. I knew that dynamic in the movie was going to kind of shatter you. The mother son, just her willingness to just keep at it. And when you initially meet her, she's like, oh, you don't, it's clear, like, you don't have kids, fucking back off, like she's protecting her fucking cub. And that shit just, I would, from her perspective, her son, this is her son who, well, yeah, he's the one who's in vegetative state. She's like, it feels like she is as well. It's like she's not totally there because he's not. Unbelievable. I kind of knew you were going to pick that. And it is arguably the best moment of the movie. But I can't get over the finale when Dr. Sayer is watching the video back, watching it, and he's just sitting there in that chair. And the movie could end there, but it decides to show, no, repetition is important. And it shows them working together again with the Ouija board. That's the end of the movie, is that, like, he's like, let's get back to it, man. Like, it does not end because this is a movie, and their lives continue. The movie has to end because it's 2 hours. but their story does not end there. It does not end there. They keep going, they keep at it. And I'm obsessed with movies that end that way, where it's like, no, you got a snippet of their lives. Their lives are way bigger than this movie, way bigger than any book. They keep going. The story has to end somewhere, but they keep going. And I love that thought. I love when movies execute it correctly. And this movie does it just perfectly, just perfect finale. I could watching Rob Williams watch De Niro talk and then put him around his arm, and take, they're taking pictures and doing the video is like, I could watch that over and over, that's so many things go through my head. Just, I think about watching someone watching me watch a movie, and so on and so forth, just kind of that fly in the room type thing. And I love it. I love the last 10 minutes of this movie so much. But there's great shit in between. The time of the season could be the Deacons to me when they're going around, he's seeing stuff and he goes in the water. Unbelievable. Well, this is an awesome movie. I give it a 9 out of 10. It could get to a 10 at one point. I don't know. Maybe not, but it's very, very good. And if you haven't seen it in a while, check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. Give it another go because it has power.
Yeah, it's a 9 for me as well. I love a first time 9. It's an amazing experience, and it's what I look for. I've stopped looking for the first time 10s. They're going to come to me, but the first time 9s, I get to enjoy those. And
yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Because I remember writing a review for The Player and I give it a 9. And I was like, that was a 9 that I knew was coming to my life. I just had to watch it. But then there's the Judgment at Nuremberg's that just, holy shit, I didn't know. I didn't know.
To shorten it, I've started calling them the Cocos.
The Cocos.
That movie was the most recent first time 10.
Yeah, the Nurembergs. The Cocos. Oh man, I love it. Love it so much. This is a more more unique episode than I think we've done on Oscar Sunday in a long time. I loved last week with Caleb. That was so much fun, and we're going to continue to just try to change the pace. And so next week, obviously we're staying in the 90s. We're going to be here for 5 total episodes. Next week will be 1993. What's Eating Gilbert Grape? It's finally time to talk about Leonardo fucking DiCaprio. Finally. It's the 50. It'll be episode 58 next week. Hope you guys can join us because, yeah, it's been a long time coming to be able to talk about that guy. It's his first nomination. And, of course, he's got a lot afterwards. And that movie, to me, is, just fascinating. Of course, Johnny Depp, 3-time nominee, also in it. And it's just a cool movie that I'm excited to talk about. I think it's going to bring up some interesting conversations, just like this one did with Awakenings. And then we'll do one more after that, and then a Best Picture Showdown for episode 60. So stick with us. The 90s are where we're at, and we're having a lot of fun watching movies we've seen before, checking out new stuff. This is the name of the game. What do we have on sneak preview tomorrow?
Oh boy, we have 7 potential films to pick from. Our big film, the one that we're going to be discussing for the bulk of the episode, is going to be The Forever Purge, the 5th film in this ongoing franchise. But also excited to talk about The Tomorrow War, Werewolves Within, No Sudden Move, Fear Street, America the Motion Picture, and Till Death. It's going to be a loaded fucking episode.
Fantastic.
And then on Filmgazm, we're going old school. Austin's joining me to talk about Saint Maud, a horror movie that we've been waiting for about 2 years. Finally got a wide release on Hulu. Very excited to dig into that. A24 always has just off the fucking wall horror movies. And this one definitely looks like it's going to be creepy. So going to be a great week. I'm excited for Gilbert Grape. I've never seen it. So this is my first time with that film.
Hell yeah. That's it's directed by, if I'm not mistaken, same guy as Cider House Rules, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure.
Okay.
Let's say Holstrom. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So we've dabbled in the I think his name is Lasse Holstrom, but What's Eating Gilbert Grape? Yeah, I can't wait for you to check out. Same kind of deal as Awakenings, just a 90s movie you got to check out at some point. And that's kind of what we do here. But man, I can't wait to be on Filmgazm, doing A24 horror. It's been so long since we've gotten to do that, because we covered like Midsommar right after it came out, and we did The Lighthouse, and shit like that. You know, I remember talking about Uncut Gems, other A24 movies, Hereditary, of course. Just some of the best shit from the past few years, you know? And I think we both have we have high expectations, but we also know like that this wave of horror is just sometimes cannot really understand what it is, you know?
Yeah.
And not fully embrace it. And I think like you had problems with Midsommar, you know, it comes at night. These movies that think they're quote unquote elevated horror,
yeah,
they haven't really paid their dues type of thing.
Yeah.
But they can pop. You know, you can get a Lighthouse or a Hereditary. And I'm hoping that's kind of what we go with St. Maud.
Me too. I can't wait. This was a blast. This was dark, but also good for the heart. I think good for the soul. Good movie choice for this week. As Austin said, go check it out. Awakenings is a beautiful movie, currently available on Prime. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.